Hey everybody, welcome back to Well That Didn't Work, Silent and Deadly.
And I am silent.
Well, because he's been tranquilized.
And I am deadly.
This is... Alright, what did the rest of you guys...
Yeah.
He runs with scissors.
Guess we're out.
Alright, we're now in episode 5 territory. So we're almost half done with the campaign, which is wild. So let's talk about who we got with us. Rick, you are playing.
Vladimir, Rockmobiles.
And Aaron, you're playing.
Eric Hunt.
Oh, I prefer
Eric
if I say
Hunt.
his name.
Katie, you're playing.
Katya or Kat.
Okay, and Mike, you're playing.
Inspector Clouseau, I am the arch enemy of rugby balls.
Whoa, character development. Okay.
Rockmobiles.
I said that.
That is what you
All
not
right.
what you said.
And just like normal, our story points reset to where we have 4 for you guys and 4 for me. And we're going to jump right back into it. When last we left our spies, you guys were on your private jet flying to wherever Nigel has directed the pilot. And you're talking to a currently restrained Richard von Krupp, version 768, who has just declared that he is a member of some hive. And Katya, I believe you wanted to do something in response.
Katya.
Katya gonna cut you.
Gotcha, gonna gotcha.
That's good. I like it.
I
I'm a fan of that.
like that a lot.
Oh, I was afraid you might.
I open up my blouse and it says that on my shirt.
It's my tattoo.
Somehow I've got it tattooed onto my knuckles.
In fact, my
And
real name,
Clouseau is asleep when the woman is flashing.
on my birth
tattooed on my
certificate, it
chest.
actually says Katya.
You could do that on your knuckles. Katya.
Gotcha, gonna gotcha.
You have to do like a thumbprint for the end. Oh gosh. All right. So what did you want to do?
I want to activate one of my gadgets. So,
Perfect. What is the gadget and what do you want it to do? And how are you using gadgetry or luck?
It's a blade that comes out from my heel.
Okay.
And it's using.
So because it's the first time you're using
Yeah.
the gadget, it's going to be either gadgetry or luck.
Gadgetry.
Gadgetry lets you kind of build it yourself. Luck gives me a little bit more say in how it pulls off.
Okay. I'm gonna do it with luck.
With luck? Okay,
Yes.
cool. So with luck, you're going to... It's just a damaging close range deal, right?
Right. It's gonna definitely have to be done with a kick because it's on my heel.
Okay, do you want it to be particularly deadly?
Yes.
The deadpan
course.
stare that I just got.
Absolutely.
So the difficulty then is going to be 3 purples.
Why must I sit next to a murder hobo?
Hobo.
Murder hobo, actual hobo. That side of the table is just kind of full of it.
I
Alright,
am
cool.
good with these.
Right on this
So
side.
it'll be using your luck alongside your cunning trait.
Okay.
So how many ranks do you have in the luck skill?
1,
You have 1 rank. And what is your cunning attribute?
2.
Okay, so you'll have 1 yellow die and 1 green die. Now, would you like to spend any of these story points to upgrade your check?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. I'm not going to upgrade back, so you'll then drop that other green die and pick up a yellow.
Okay.
Did we get one?
So we got,
Did we get our first triumph of the game?
these are going to cancel.
Okay.
All right, so let's
Yeah.
pull those. Sorry. Now, here's the thing. There is inherently a success within the triumph.
Okay.
Okay? So that success is going to cancel that failure, which
Okay.
means that is going to flip directly to that.
Okay.
So what you are left with is a
It's
triumph
with 2 threats.
with 2 threats.
But no successes.
Correct.
Okay, cool. So your 2 threats are going to be that... I think this this declaration of that, like, he's not the only one, and you had heard him say something like that at the restaurant, but not directly in this way. I think that's going to kind of set you off a little bit and make you angrier than you expected, so you're going to take 2 strain damage. You triumphed, though. You didn't succeed, so I think... Are you wearing, like... When you say your heel, are you wearing, like, high heels? Or is it like a shoe?
A booted heel.
A booted heel.
Like a high boots with a heel.
Okay, great. What can I do to this?
They're like my Swiss Army boots.
With luck to make it a little different.
Yeah, they're spring loaded.
My shoes are spring loaded.
Yeah.
I do, yeah, I like that. So instead of it being an engaged range weapon that you can like, because this is the first time you've used it, you were told this is a boot with a knife in it.
Yeah.
So you click the heel down, and instead of it just like popping out for you to be able to like kick with it, it shoots the knife into the wall of the plane. So it's going to be...
Clouseau looks over as just half asleep. Yes, and
It's right by his head. Actually, that's funny. So under your weapons, down there at the bottom,
Makes sense you build on that side of the table.
right?
Is there a magazine down there? For these things?
Yes. What do we want
Why
to
did
call
you
them?
give that to her? She could hurt somebody with that.
It's not like a necessarily aggressive weapon. It's more of like a runaway weapon. Because, it comes out of the back of her heel.
Oh, I thought it came out of the front of the
No.
boot. No?
No,
it's
it comes
like
out of the heel.
Point, the heel.
Oh, so when you point the heel at somebody.
Yeah, like I'm gonna go in and like kick.
So if it accidentally went off while you were walking, it could embed in the ground and choke you.
Oh,
Or if the plane crashes and we are on an inflatable boat.
I can make these.
I was about to say, but I'm not. My name is not Crusoe, so we're okay.
We should be okay.
Yeah, so spring-loaded heel, I think, is a good name for the weapon.
Now we're in Savage Worlds. Come
Yep,
up with
basically.
a good name, yeah.
Yeah, spring-loaded heel. Damage is going to be 6.
Mm-hmm.
Crit is 3. Range is short.
Mm-hmm.
And the special is limited ammo 5. And the skill required to use it is going to be... I don't want to say athletics, but that kind of makes sense a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But
Or coordination, maybe even.
yeah,
He's going to have to be coordinated to aim that thing on one foot.
Well, then I need to buy some coordination.
yeah, but she put points into athletics, which is why I'm
I-
kind of like,
I think it's athletics.
Yeah, I
personally,
think so, too.
because this would be more like a gymnastic style weapon, or you're running, or whatever. Is the way
Yeah.
you described it. So
yeah. So I think athletics would be the skill for the
Okay.
weapon, which is pretty unconventional. Like we don't have any other weapons that use, but these are
Athletics,
gadgets,
yeah.
right? So like
Yes.
it makes sense that it's something off kilter. So I'm okay with it. Cool. So that happens, and it's less menacing than you wanted it to be.
Except that it could be unpredictable, which is very menacing. In
It's menacing in its own sense.
especially in a confined
Especially
area.
with someone who has a big temper.
Don't let her walk on your back. I saw that.
And do you say anything when you do that? What did you say again? As you tried to activate this knife, did you say anything?
I can.
Yeah, please do.
Okay. So I get really mad and I let out, bloody hell! I'm tired of this nonsense! And then I wanted to get answers, so I kicked up my foot and it shot out.
Okay. And he kind of almost collapses for a second, like head in his chest, and then when he looks back up, his left eye is green, where it was brown before. They were both brown, and he kind of looks up and shakes the hair out of his face and says, "Well, is that Katya? I've this is wild. I haven't seen you since I think the last memory we have is me cutting your hair on that bus. It's been quite some time."
Yes, you made me bald for about a summer.
Well, it grew back. I see you made something of it. You're not are you hunting me? This is the irony of the world at its finest.
What is going on here?
Who are you?
We were just talking.
No,
Who are you?
no, we won't. My name's Richard Croup,
And what number group are you?
768.
Because
How do you know that I have a number?
I just know things. I drink and I know things.
Nice. Oh, I see. You're a Russian bloke. I imagine you were talking with Dmitri, yes?
Well, we were talking with the squirrel, Dmitri.
The squirrel came out? The squirrel hasn't come out of hiding in years.
What do you mean came out? Why do you keep changing?
Well, I think it's obvious, isn't it?
Not entirely,
Got
no.
a little bit of multiple personalities.
Yeah, multiple personalities don't change your eye color.
Well, not for normal people, but we're not normal.
Now, when you say we, what do you mean we are not normal?
I mean, we.
How many are there?
Well, that I've found so far, roughly just over 1,000.
You have 1,000 personalities in that head of yours? Does that
Well-
even make sense?
It didn't. For quite some time, I'll give you that. It didn't make sense, but we're all very smart. And that's probably why Cat's hunting me. I'm assuming you're all hired by some sort of agencies, yes?
So are
Some
you
sort of
very-
clandestine, wishy-washy, can work under the books kind of thing. You can
We're
license to kill, that
No.
sort of deal.
Oh, we
yes.
got
You're the
licenses to
post
kill.
office.
What? The post?
There
Well,
is a post office.
you're a moron.
This is what I was saying.
What is that? Who is that Frenchman? Is that? Oh no! Is that Jacques Clouseau?
Yes, would you like to talk to him?
Well, I would love to. I love his work. He's bloody hilarious.
Yes, we've noticed. He's very irritating too.
He caught my friend the Pink Panther.
That is what he is known for, and he has played that little caper into all kinds of stuff.
He's done very well for himself. I
Yes.
love reading the stories of Jacques Clouseau.
Yes, they even made a movie about him. It's crazy.
Anyway, I believe now, yes, Dimitri's letting me know.
Letting
You said you would release me if I answered your questions.
I
and-
never said I'd release you.
Well-
I said I would loosen the.
He said you
cuffs.
would loosen for each question I answered, and if I answered each questions, then you would let me at least let my arms free. I would not dream that you let me loose on
I
this
can play
plane.
the
But
recording back. That is what you said. That is not what we said. I said.
would you mind striking that bargain? Please feel free to bind me to the chair, but I do need to move my hands.
We will. That is fair enough. We will loosen them a little bit, and I pull out a new set of cuffs, and I clamp them on you, and they are loosened one rung. Then I loosen the other one rung.
I see. If
So
this
now
is
you
how
have-
we'll play it, this is how. Either way, I need your help. So, and you need my help, and you need me to need your help, and.
You keep playing these games, these red games. Does these make sense to you?
So, are you hearing Dimitri talk to you right now?
Off and on, he let me know what's going on, but
It's like some kind of Borg something out of
Well, he's,
Star Trek.
I don't know how best to tell you all this, but Dimitri's not here. We kind of shifted spaces. Dimitri's sort of in South Africa right now.
What about Dietrich? Is Dietrich in there anywhere?
Dietrich's. Last I checked with him, he's in Austin, Texas. Of course, that's where you're from.
Of course. Sounds about right.
So, this is why you say it is a hive?
Yes.
But you remember me
Yes, of course.
when we were young, and you
Absolutely.
were Dickie.
Yes, I am
And
Richard
now,
Croup.
and then you know him.
Well, Dimitri knows him. I know him because Dimitri told me about him.
So are you interconnected with the people of your hive, and y'all can talk in your mind through a certain point?
See, please, I really do. I talk with my hands. Can I please? I'll explain everything, I promise you. I'm not here to kill you today.
You will have to do. You have a little bit of room there.
Fair enough. Cloning. It doesn't work, right? We've been trying for years, and sure, we got some animal cloning going on, but human cloning couldn't happen. There was something in the genetic material and consciousness that didn't click, and then we broke it. We, at the time, there were only 4 of us. Actually, the 4 that you all seem to know. We made a cloned body and found... And at the time, there was only one body, of course. But we made a body, and we were able to put Dietrich into that body. And he was his own. And it wasn't long after that that another, one that we didn't know, that I didn't know, switched places with him. And it was a good one. He was a fantastic bloke, and we really enjoy his company, and I was thankful for that. But then I began to wonder how many others there were and how much room I had to house all of these people. And so I began cloning, just repeatedly cloning, and we quickly became hundreds upon hundreds.
But if you're 768th, you're talking as if you're the original.
We maintain all of the memories from each person. So I can tell Dietrich and Dimitri what's happening right here by thinking it, and they can fully receive that message and know exactly what's happening in this plane.
So when I watched Dietrich die in that car accident, that was just one Dietrich.
Yes. And it doesn't destroy as long as there's room. See, I found that each body has room for 4. And as long as there's room in another body, you don't kill Dietrich, and we can make another one of him.
So you make where's it is? You're talking like this is. You say one. It's like this is don't even know, like a soul or a spirit, or what is it? There's another intelligence, and where does this intelligence come from?
That we don't know, but it's more of a consciousness, maybe a soul. We don't.
Perhaps alternate dimensions. I mean, they've toyed with that, but
That's been a thought that we've had.
So what's your end game with all this? You're going to continue to just create more and more clones, so to speak?
My end game was science, and I think Dimitri really, really, really loves blowing things up. Sorry. The squirrel loves money, and
the squirrel is nuts.
this actually, yes.
What
He's
they
been
say.
in hiding for years, though.
That is why Clouseau is the man to find him.
And Dietrich is really a master con artist. We all kind of have a specialty in that.
But there are thousands.
This is going to sound crazy, but there are even some that can do things beyond the limits of the mind. And
I see.
some of those are those that I've lost track of.
So,
They've found a way to break from the hive mind.
Are they trying to establish their own kind of hive?
They're not really interested.
So
They've acquired their freedom, and they don't really want to be shackled any longer. But they're weaker without being connected.
So you want our help finding these 25 rogues?
I think if we just found one, we could get the whole situation under control.
Found the one. So they all know what you know, all the time.
The 25 don't. The 1,000 do, yes.
But you wish
But the 25 don't.
the 25 that are broken free. So,
Well, if they do, I do not know it because I do not know what they know.
understood.
If that makes sense.
That does make sense in a weird sort of way.
Perhaps they've muted their end of the call.
So your strudel makes little sense, but some sense. So, but what was your end game? What is it you want? Now you want us to help you put the genie back in the bottle, but what was it that you want? Because
Could you imagine the power of 1,000 geniuses working at once to accomplish a goal? Why do you think your organizations want us caught and dead? We're too smart. We're too many. You kill one of us and we're there still. We can do immeasurable things in this world and immeasurable good. Sure, also potentially immeasurable bad, as what I'm trying to stop potentially is. But imagine 1,000 geniuses of equal IQ all working on one project, but different pieces of it all at once. It's like the world's best computer run by 1,000 of the world's best computers. It's unmatched.
so
Correct.
So
but
we
if
don't-
we save you and help you.
Well, you're not
how
really
can we-
saving me. I'm not really. You can kill this body if you would like, and you'll probably find me in Milan in a week.
If we help
There are
you,
1,000 of me. Chances are, if you throw enough spaghetti, you're gonna get some to stick.
if it's Jock's noodles, we have no trouble.
There is a hiccup.
I knew that there was a catch.
I know who you're working for. Name's Nigel, yeah?
Could be, perhaps.
Look, is his name Nigel? This hinges on everything.
Does it? Why? Explain to us why it is so important.
Because Nigel's working for me. Well, not me. He was working for me. He was a lab assistant. Way back in the day. And
Are you saying Nigel's one of you?
no. Nigel worked with me when I was one person. But when the first Rogue Richard, as it were,
Rogue Richard.
Bunch of rogue dicks out there.
Rogue Dick.
So you're looking for a little R&R.
when the first split away, Nigel followed. And he's been working with him ever since.
But we have known this Nigel has worked in the organization for many years now.
Yes. Well, I mean, Nigel brought your organizations together. You may know him from somewhere else, but he doesn't work for Uncle.
Okay.
He brought Uncle and IMF and Kingsman and everybody else involved into this. Nigel has been involved in your organizations for a while, and you're a spy, so you should know that that's probably because... I mean, why would you know that he's with the IMF? Why would Uncle work with the IMF?
Yeah, that makes sense. It is, everybody collaborate the resources.
Yes, when in the history of everything have spies collaborated?
No, if the stakes are high enough, it has happened, MI5 works with the CIA from time to time,
I'm hesitant to say that for me,
The KGB.
who, yes, I've done some things and your people don't like me, but I'm not really number one on anybody's most wanted list.
No, true. You never have made number one. Sorry for you, but you've never made that.
No, it's been intentional, trust me. Again, 1,000 geniuses. We know how much crime we can get away with.
I see.
Also, we tend to die shortly after.
Yes.
It's all part of the plan. Everybody thinks that they've killed Richard Krupp or Dimitri or
Okay. So
the squirrel. Well, the squirrel may
squirrel.
actually be dead. We have not
I
heard
wish
from him
to-
again in a long time.
I want to inject you with sodium pentothal, but I do not know if it would work on you. If you have
To kill me?
No, sodium. You know what you genius. You know what sodium.
Yes, but the
pentothal
GM
is.
does not know.
Oh. It's sodium pentothal's truth serum.
Oh, okay. I assure you that I'm telling you the truth.
You can assure me all you want, but
Please inject away. But can you take the cuffs off? I've given you a lot of information.
you've given us information. Yes, I will loosen them again. I will not take them off because I do not trust you.
Yeah.
Okay, we have had engagements before. You tell me that you can switch from one personality to another at will. So how do I know that in a few minutes you seem very trustworthy now? But how do I know your other eye won't switch to another color and then the next thing you turn into a human bomb? I don't know.
That's not entirely out of the question, and I wouldn't bring it up if you didn't want that.
Oh, I should not give the GM ideas. Is that what you said?
It's not.
Could we possibly shackle him in another way, freeing his arms? Like maybe tie his neck back?
That would actually be better for you in general, I think.
Like dog collar?
But please, I mean,
Hook
check
that
my.
seat?
I can't help but notice that nobody's checked me for bugs. Where is Clouseau?
So you wish me
And
to
you
have
guys look
Clouseau-
around and
I
Clouseau is
personally
not
don't
in the
want to
cabin.
touch him, so I'm going to go ahead and wake him up.
Oh
You,
boy.
you look around and Clouseau is not in the cabin.
That means he's in the cockpit, boys.
We cut to.
that
Where do we
ain't
cut
good.
to, Mike?
He's in the can.
Clouseau is up overhead, completely spread eagle, in between the luggage compartments, above everyone, blended into the ceiling. And at that moment is about the time when he drops down in front of the squirrel. I arrest you in the name of France.
You almost said Russia.
Well, I am here as Boris.
I think someone's beat you to the punch, good boy.
They do not know anything about you.
You're looking for the squirrel, aren't you?
Of course I'm looking for this squirrel. I've been looking for this squirrel for a long time.
You've been up there,
For a while.
so you've kind of heard what's going on.
Of course.
Do you sort of understand?
No.
And as you say that, you guys hear the vents overhead click without anybody touching them. And you see a haze start to spill out slowly, but it's different colored than in previous times of the knockout gas.
I immediately pull my charcoal handkerchief and put
Yep.
it over my mouth.
Can't we...
That would be me doing that, but not me, if you catch my drift. If we want to make it off this plane, we've got to get off this plane.
Would they kill you too?
Yes.
Well, I guess it wouldn't matter if they kill you. You just pop up again like a bad cold.
Yeah, that's not how this one works. I know this haze.
Would I recognize it? Can I do a poison check?
You can try. It's going to be an extremely hard one.
So is that hard or is
It's going to be daunting.
daunting? All right. I will roll a daunting check.
Is there no
But
safety bins? Like the safety air thing in the airplane that we can...
You haven't checked?
I'm going to
gonna.
take 2 strain to lower it. Now,
With your poison expert?
yes.
So that lowers it down to hard.
Yeah. No, that lowers it 2 ranks.
Oh, does it? Oh,
yep.
you have 2 ranks in it.
No, I have 1 rank in it. So
Yeah, so you can only take the 1 strain to lower it by 1.
All right, so it would be.
Now, if you
hard.
have enough for to buy a second rank,
Okay, 3 kind. But I don't have any skill in this, right? So
it's based on your knowledge. So you
well,
have a
it's
rank
based
in
on
knowledge.
Right, gotcha. We'll go with it. All right.
That does not. Nope, there are no
That
successes on any of your
is
dice.
1 advantage.
1 advantage.
Actually, yeah, one advantage.
You can tell that it's a compound.
It's a compound.
It's
Okay.
not one single, and that's why you can't like gather what it is. You get very close, and you're like, I think I recognize some of this and some of this, but it's moving too slowly to be this, but it's looks like it, and you're just kind of spinning your wheels trying to figure out what it is, and you kind of come to the conclusion that this is a mixture of some sort.
Okay.
Chocolate blue, the plane is on fire!
I see.
Crap.
Okay.
Oxygen.
Yeah, I was
So
gonna say it's the
I'm
oxygen
going
mask.
I'm going to try to use my mechanics knowledge to rig the safety air masks.
So
up down.
you hit the safety air mask, you pull it down, and you see that like where it normally would be connected to oxygen, it's connected to like a fast track of this vapor.
You need to get off the
Yeah,
plane.
get out the plane, boys.
Okay.
We search
Seriously,
for.
if he, and he's like frantically pulling at his cuffs. If he knocks me out, I'm done, and you won't have an ally in this.
We will let us. We free him.
We free him. I got a gun. If
We
he
get-
does anything rogue, we'll just pop him.
We'll get the parachutes.
Yeah, can we search for parachutes?
There are parachutes, yeah.
It is okay, I will stick
Where-
with him like glue.
Actually,
like now hugging him.
Where
from
are
behind.
we, by the way? Are we over
You
water?
have no idea. You haven't looked out a window or anything.
Okay, I look out a window.
You're over a mountain range.
That is lovely.
Good for parachuting.
No, it's not.
But I watched Indiana Jones, I know how this works.
And I will talk to pilots. Pilots, are you still there?
They do not respond.
This is not good. But we need to hurry. Okay, but if we open, we don't have any oxygen now. Okay, so we will uncuff him.
So, what kind of? You guys have gadgets.
I don't think I'm carrying my gateway PC.
You're probably not getting your
So-
gateway PC. That is probably the most correct thing you've ever
I have
said.
a pocket plane in my. It's an inflatable pocket plane.
Does anybody have anything that could work as a parachute? Now, again, like you came up with 6 mundane objects, and you didn't decide what they did before.
Well, there should be parachutes.
Oh,
on
I
the
guess I
plane.
could.
There are, but if you want a cooler way to drop as a spy,
Oh, I
go for it.
see. Oh, okay.
Maybe you have a glider instead of a parachute. I don't know.
So, use my sport coat doubles as parachute, right? Yes, I was saying. My toupee.
Inspector
helicopter,
Gadget.
yeah.
My ink pen is a rocket ship.
If you want your
Your
ink
head
pen to
opens
have
up.
a rocket on it, I would love that so much.
No, I have an idea for that one.
Oh, Jiminy Cricket.
I don't think I can get much utility out of turning it into a rocket ship.
Okay.
Okay. We will.
Strap the parachutes on.
Yes. And what should we call you? Dimitri?
No, I'm Richard.
Richard. Okay.
Just for shits and giggles, could we go ahead and attach Crusoe to Richard?
I'm already wrapped around him from behind. I told you I will hold on to this one. He is my prisoner.
He's got the tandem parachute.
We've got a mosquito.
I have a dart that injects a tracking device,
Okay.
and I am going to inject him with it.
Okay. And is this this will be a gadget?
It's part of my dart gun things.
Okay. So I don't think you have infinite dart gun. You like with infinite
I have
types
utility.
of use.
I have utility gun.
We actually never rolled for that. I was okay with it being just a tranquilizer, but let's roll either
no,
gadgetry or
I've
luck
got,
for
I've
it.
got the debilitating fart pellets, nerve gas, temporary paralysis, hallucinatory gas pellets, smoke, acid.
And how did you pay for all of this?
They're provided by Nigel.
That didn't happen. I was there for that conversation.
One of them shoots a grappling hook with 100 feet of silk steel line and a magnetic.
Yeah, I think
suction
we're gonna have to
piercing
roll a gadgetry roll to get all of that stuff in there. That's a lot of utility.
It is. I know. It was great. When I was writing it down, I go, "This will be very handy." You know.
His 6 different gadgets are all different clips that go into the same gun.
Exactly.
I would be absolutely okay with that. So you want some sort of trank?
Well, I have trank because that's a basic. I mean,
Yeah.
I
So
figure
you want
that's all
some sort of
basic.
tracker?
Some sort of tracking device, yeah. So, all right. So, should we roll for darts, or should we roll for the gun, or?
I think the ensemble, right? Because it's just an air gun, right?
It's an air
That has
pistol.
probably different settings on
Different
it that you can
attachment.
just drop onto it. So yeah, so let's roll for the air gun. And I know we didn't do that when you.
Well, basically,
initially
they're
hit the
just
trank.
different darts.
Sure.
So, and other than the grappling hook attachment.
Yeah.
It's like Triple X with the revolver. You spin it.
Well, I have to
Track one.
actually load it out of my utility belt.
So I think I will. So for each time you want to have one of those, because it's coming out of this utility belt thing, and that's kind of what you build that utility belt around.
Right.
I think we'd need to roll for the utility belt
Okay.
to be able to have like that stuff available. And
Okay.
basically, like on this gadgetry roll, whether you pass or fail. So fail would be you pull out the wrong dart, and it's not a tracker. And it's something else that's on your list. But basically, your utility belt then would have the utility belt feature of you can flip the story point to have the thing you need.
Got you.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. So let's do that. So let's roll gadgetry for this utility, and it is going
luck?
to be or luck. But I know you have skill in gadgetry.
No, I don't.
Oh, you have skill
I
in
have
luck.
skill and luck. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let's do luck and cunning, and let's do I think just average difficulty.
Right. I'm going to.
You're gonna-
boost it,
you're gonna upgrade?
just because this is my main.
Yeah, this is your main gadget.
All right. Oh,
We got a successful
nice.
roll.
Not just a success.
It's about time.
But-
The only other successful
With
roll I think
advantage.
has been kicking Clouseau into a boat.
That's right. 2 success and an advantage.
Okay, so you pull out the trank, you load it in, pop him, or not trank, tracker. I
Okay.
keep saying trank. That's
So
not
that means
right.
I have a gun that does all this stuff now, right?
Your utility belt
Oh.
you can flip the point to produce those kind of darts from the really, and it's not limited to just those. You can spend a story point if we have it to pull out the dart that you need.
Okay.
Basically, it gives you the utility belt talent, but
Right.
specified to those.
Right.
Attachments.
But I would think that would be for specialized. Anyway, we'll talk about that more.
Rick, you're already at specialized.
No, well, I know, but a tranquilizer dart is a very basic,
Sure,
things
sure,
like
sure,
that,
sure.
So
Here
anyway,
is one that has the poison
things-
of the conch shell.
so I shoot him as a tracking
Things like a
device.
tranquilizer dart, you can just buy those.
Right.
And they're not super expensive. They're like probably about the cost, maybe double what a stim pack would be. So they're not expensive. But things like this extremely like tiny tracking device that can be concealed easily in somebody's body, yeah, that's a little bit more difficult to believe.
That is true.
Poison darts, those things are harder to get a hold of.
I can mix them. Anyway, all right, we're getting off track. Okay, so I shoot him with a tracking device.
Awesome, done. And you guys all jump.
Why is it
Whee!
that every time somebody shoots somebody else, I fall asleep?
We don't want you asleep for this
And he
one.
falls asleep as he falls out of the plane. The G forces.
Okay.
He's like super comfortable, like snuggling with Richard.
Aw.
So you guys are putting on these parachutes, and as you do, the captain's like the door to the pilot opens up, and 2 of the guys in the white suits file out. They say, "Excuse me, you are not allowed to put those on. Please put our parachutes down."
Okay.
I just jump out the back, like, yippee-ki-yay.
Well, the door doesn't open that quickly.
Well, I'm using my nimble.
You try and you just like hit the door.
Actually, I'm using my nimble.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess I have to flip the
Well,
story
nimble
point.
only happens when it's like on your turn.
Oh, true.
We're not in a turn. We're not in a combat yet.
Okay.
So you can't. You wouldn't need to do that. Like you can kind of move around,
Okay.
ish. But if you make any sudden moves, then we'll have a combat.
I will move to the emergency door and pull it open.
Okay. So as you start to move, they shoot toward where you're headed, and we'll roll for initiative.
Okay.
So everybody's going to roll either a vigilance or, well, actually, in this particular case, it would be cool. because you kind of saw it coming. So find your cool skill. Did I leave a cool skill on the character sheet? I did.
Yeah.
So find your cool skill, and it's going to be paired with your willpower. So if you don't have any ranks, it's just going to be willpower. There's no difficulty to the roll. You're just going to roll those positive dice and tell me what you get.
1 and nothing.
Yeah,
Dice,
2
yeah.
successes.
Okay, so do you have anything under your cool skill?
Would you get
Nope.
2
Then
successes?
what's
Yep.
your willpower number?
2.
Okay, so 2 greens.
2 green. Okay, that's. Oh, success and.
You
a
count
success
these. For
is-
initiative,
one,
you count
right?
them. Nope.
Nope.
For initiative, you count everything. So you
Oh,
got
2
2
successes
So it's cool,
and an
and
advantage.
an advantage.
Yep, cool.
which is presence.
I'm doing willpower for it, for this roll.
Okay.
I find my host to be Camille.
Oh, 2 and 2. Not too
2
bad.
and 2.
Alright, so you guys are aware initiative and PC versus NPC slots work really kind of weird in this game.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a D&D game where you're going to end up with whatever you roll is where you go.
Oh.
Okay.
Alright, that could be a homebrew rule, but that's not the way that it plays out within Genesys.
Right.
What happens is each roll determines whether it's a PC slot or an NPC slot, and you get to go depending on who claims that spot. You cannot claim an NPC slot. Obviously, that's on Percy to be able to dictate who's going to go as an NPC and when.
Yeah, basically D&D, you go on your own slot. In this
Yeah.
game, anybody can pick. the
Oh,
NPC
okay.
If you
slot.
have something that you would do as a character initially,
Yeah.
then it makes sense to grab that slot.
Got
and
it.
move forward. Sometimes, as we have seen in other games, grabbing that slot and doing something first is not always a great thing.
Right.
No, it's really screwed us up a few times.
What did you roll, Rick?
I rolled 2 and 2. Which is not bad on 2 dice.
Okay, so it's going to be a PC slot first.
Okay, are they wearing gas masks or anything like that?
No.
So they're this cloud that's starting to form.
I think you would need to take your action to really perceive the room to get a sense of why they wouldn't be wearing that. So you can see on a glance that they don't have any masks on.
Okay.
But like to actually discern why or what's going on with them or what's going on with the smoke, you would need to like take some intentional time, like basically your action turn to figure that out.
Okay. I would like to go first if that's okay with everybody.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to do that.
You're going to perceive that. Okay, cool. So roll a perception check, and it's
Okay.
going to be average difficulty with a setback.
All right, now I have heightened awareness, so on
Okay.
perception checks I get +2 boost. And so my perception is... All right, and what did you say, average?
Mm-hmm.
With a setback?
Yep.
All right.
Setbacks are black.
Oh yeah, that worked out really good. I have a success and 5 advantage.
Wow. So what would you like to use your 5 advantage on?
Okay, this is a perception. All right. That the emergency exit is much closer to us than to them.
Okay. I think that'll have to be like a triumph equivalent, essentially.
Okay.
So,
So that would be 3,
So I'll only charge 2 for it.
2. So that leaves me 3.
So that leaves you with 3.
My success was I would so first tell me what my success gives me.
Okay. So you see, like, as you're looking around the room, that smoke, it's not really dissipating. It's staying in concentrated tendrils and, like, kind of slowly approaching each of you,
But not them.
but not them.
Okay. And in my perception, can I tell what Richard, is he trying to get his parachute on?
He's with Clouseau.
Right, I understand.
So Clouseau's got a parachute on, or he's trying to get a parachute on.
Okay, so we all have.
They're riding in tandem,
I
but
have a
nobody's
leg
nobody's finished.
I have a leg through an arm through a leg, and it's just not going well.
Nobody has finished putting on their gear.
Okay,
They came in while you were putting it on.
So we all have our parachutes.
Yes, they're just not like
gonna
put
open
on and
up on your
clasped
face.
properly and tightened and all that stuff. You just haven't
okay
finished the job.
All right. So I have 3 more perception rolls, advantages. I'm glancing out the window, and do I have any idea where we might be? I want to use my perceptions to get an idea of where we might be.
Yeah, I think you can get a sense that you are. I'm trying to get my geography right on this one.
We're over Florence.
It's a mountain range in Venice.
Well, Italy's all mountains. There's a lot of mountains anyway.
In the Alps, yeah.
Right
Yeah.
down the heart. Or hills, anyway. Yeah. The Allies found out how mountainous it was in World War II.
Yeah.
So you find yourself, you're not near like the tallest of the mountains in China. You can't even see from where you are, like discernibly where Everest is. So you know you're not on that kind of western side of China, but you're still flying toward like. You can also tell you're not flying toward Hong Kong.
Yeah, we're not flying.
You're not flying toward Hong Kong. You're flying kind of you're north of Hong Kong.
Golly, this would be a horrible place to parachute.
It really freaking is.
Well, I'd say you're north and east still. You're still like in the taller, like the higher areas of the Chinese
Dang,
continent
we're so screwed.
or country, like, whatever it is.
Well, this gas has got to be controlled in the cockpit. So this gas has got to be controlled in the cockpit. If we can get in the cockpit, you'd think we'd be able to shut the gas off.
So, all right. So I did my perception check. I am going to. Oh, I used my action to. That was my action.
Yeah,
to
it took like concentrated time to do that.
to do that. So
So
I don't
you still have a maneuver,
I still have a maneuver, but not an action.
but not an action, correct?
Yeah, I was just going to open up the door. I'm going to. Yeah, but if I open up the door, we're going out
Yep.
into the Himalayas. We'll find the Yeti. I'll use.
Do you want to grab cover or something?
Probably
Yeah,
so.
you're
I'm gonna
out of
add-
actions you can do.
Right.
But
I'm gonna basically. I'm going to use my maneuver to. Find cover behind. A chair, and yeah. That's what
Okay.
I'll do. Away from the tendrils.
that sounds good. Yeah.
Okay.
Trying to move away from them. All right. Next is another player turn. Who wants to go?
I'll go.
Okay.
See if I
So what
can-
you see in front of you, you've got now Vladimir has moved behind a chair for cover. He's kind of in front and to the right of where you are, because you guys were putting on the parachutes. You're all kind of back and to the left, like where that cargo area was. And then in front of you, you see basically 2 big guys, both with handguns, fairly large handguns, out in white suits, kind of staring you down the aisle. And it's not a very long aisle. Probably like a short range is the entire plane.
Yeah. All right. Do I know if any of my other compadres have weapons or firearms on them?
I don't know that you know.
You know I have a dart gun.
You know he has a dart gun, and
Yeah.
you assume. I mean, you're all
Okay.
like professional espionage professionals.
Yeah.
Ish.
Ish. Except for Jacques.
All right. Well, gonna try to get to the cockpit. I mean, they
Okay.
got these two guys here, but so can I take a shot at the guy that shot at me?
Quick
Shot
draw.
at us. Do a quick draw.
Yeah, you can quick draw and do that. You can
Okay.
try to like run and slide under them, something like that, if you want to race for the cockpit.
So are they? I mean, are they right at the? Because I thought they just came out of the
Yeah,
cockpit.
they
so
came
they're-
out, but like they're not taking up the whole
I got you.
plane, if that makes sense. Like they're not wide enough to take up the whole area.
Okay.
So there's space to kind of move around them if you want to try a maneuver like that.
Oh, that's
All right.
something.
Yeah. I mean, I've got high agility, so I'm gonna try to see if I can.
Okay, do you want to go over or under?
Over. I'm gonna leap like a gazelle. See if I can just.
Okay, so kind of like propel yourself off of one of the chairs
Right.
and over them.
Yeah.
Excellent. You're taking all of Rick's thunder right now.
Do some somersault move
Parkour
into
expert.
the.
I know. And I had all the to do that.
But I think you're good, like with what you did, like perceiving those tendrils. That makes you guys needed to
No,
know
I
that.
know.
Yeah.
But I was going to use my nimble to get to the door and open it
Yeah.
up, and we were going to go out. But
Yeah.
if we're in the Himalayas,
Yeah.
you know, it's
That
like
may
out
not
of
be the best
frying
idea.
pan into the fire or into the ice cube.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Yeah, the ice cube.
so you're gonna try to run and leap over. That's gonna be
Yeah.
a coordination check.
Oh, it's not agility.
Well,
Yeah, that's
agility
based
is
on
the
agility.
is the
Okay.
trait, but coordination
gotcha.
would be the skill.
All right. So I got one coordination.
Okay, so and your agility is a 4, I
4.
mentioned, right?
Yeah.
So it'd be 3 green and 1 yellow.
All right.
And the difficulty to do this, they're big guys, so that's going to add 1 setback. So pick up a black die. But to normally like propel yourself off a chair and over something like this would be probably a hard check, just because it's a narrow-ish space to leap through.
Yeah.
So it's not an easy thing to do. Now, would you like to spend one of the story points? You guys have 2 left to upgrade your check again.
Trying to see if I have anything. It's sidestep doesn't really work in this, does it?
No, sidestep is
that's
more of like a
shooting.
defensive thing.
Yeah. Okay.
No, but nimble would be really good.
Rick, you
All your
can't make
stuff.
a case for going again.
Okay, do you want to spend one of these points to
Yeah.
upgrade your end of the check?
Yeah, I think I would.
Okay, so go ahead and move a green and replace it with a yellow.
All right.
I'm also going to do that. So you're going to remove a purple and replace it with a red. It's a lot of dice.
Yeah. Oh, that
It
sucks.
is.
Hey, your setback is blank too, though.
Yeah, that's true. So,
And not good at all.
That's a rough check.
let's see. All right, hold up. So that cancels those 2, but that cancels that. So a fail and a disadvantage.
Okay, so I'm going to say
Or
they don't
threat,
like
yeah.
grab you, but like as you try to jump over, he kind of shuts you down like a volleyball.
Ouch.
He just like as you like leap, he just quickly like he's got his right hand pointing his pistol, left hand grabs you by the shoulder and forces you back to the ground. Next
Bummer.
player turn. Jacques or Cat?
You gotta shoot him with her boot.
I'm going to defer to you.
I mean, could I assess more of the?
I don't
or
think-
since he already ran his perception.
You could do that, but I don't think you would get anything new.
Yeah, I
Okay.
got really good perception.
Yeah, he got a super good roll.
Okay. All right. Well, then I'm going to also attempt at the door.
If I may, this is wireless world,
Yeah.
and you do have like a personal computer
Oh. Okay.
that you like
Could hack into the
specifically
system.
use. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So
That's
just
why I
because
was
like
trying to get into the cockpit because I was going to hack.
yeah,
their
but like we
computer
live
system.
in wireless world
Yeah, that's true.
with a lot of things that are electronically run, so you could give an effort to that.
Okay. I am going to pull out my computer and try hacking
Awesome.
into...
So I think like computer's a big term. It's probably like more like an iPad Pro.
That's what I meant. No, I've got a big computer.
Well, like- well, like-
I want a full-on computer guy.
Pulls out her desktop.
I even have like a fold-out little chair to like sit.
I mean, it could have been
My
a
mouse.
laptop. It could have been a laptop, but you could also probably feasibly do this from a phone.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Like,
pull out
with
a
the tech that
tablet,
we
like a
have.
tablet from
Cool.
my.
Cool.
My
So
coat. My
roll
coat.
a computers check.
Okay. I've got 3.
So you've
on
got
that.
3 ranks in computers, and computers is based with your intellect.
3.
So which is 3. So you got 3 yellow dice. That's a very good roll. The difficulty to take over the cockpit would be 3 reds. If you want to do something less dramatic than take over the entire cockpit, it'll be easier, but it'll have less effect.
Maybe you could shut off the gas.
That's what I was going to try and do.
No.
The
The
gas
air
is
filtration
not,
system.
maybe the gas is not being pumped in mechanically. I will tell you that. The inference, and I'll tell you that based on the inference from Richard, is that his, like, one of the rogue versions is producing this gas and implanting it into the plane from afar. So he's not, like, actually on the plane.
That's some serious.
Some X-Men stuff right there.
Exactamundo.
So
I know. I was
if
thought
I
about
take
opening the door
over,
just to let, but I didn't know if everybody was attached.
would I
just
want to
to
like
suck the gas
reroute
out.
it for an emergency landing?
That, I don't... You would have to take over the cockpit to do that.
Yeah.
Also, there's nowhere to land. You're over mountains.
So by hacking in and not taking over the cockpit, what can I learn from
You
that?
can shut down instruments.
Okay.
You can
Can I shut down the vents?
shut down the vents. You can redirect the vents to the front. Things like that are possible.
But the
I don't
gas,
know if that
it's
would have
going
as much of an
straight to
effect.
us.
Yeah, like it may redirect the gas for a moment and make it slower moving toward you guys, but it probably wouldn't attack the pilot
Are we flying at night or during the day?
during the day.
Could I just open the emergency door from my computer system?
Oh,
No,
yeah.
the
Manual.
emergency door is like a handle.
Okay.
Yeah, that I thought about that, but if
Yeah.
you do that, people are getting sucked out.
Right.
Yes.
We haven't secured
And-
our...
And we haven't secured
Yeah.
our.
I mean,
I
you
wasn't
can.
I'm going to
concerned
secure
about that.
before my turn. I'm going to secure.
It'll take an act. Your action is
Or
going to be to
okay.
secure everything.
Couldn't there be a movement? To secure?
Yeah, could it be
No.
a
To
movement?
No, because like it's not. Well, I guess to buckle into a seat.
That should be an incidental. 'cause
That
it's
could be a
almost like-
movement.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
'cause
almost
we
like
already
drawing a
had 'em.
weapon.
Yeah,
That's what I was thinking.
yeah,
more of a
yeah.
movement.
That could. I thought you meant like fasten somehow
Are you
to
trying
like.
to say like I can hack into a little bit of the system and like what turn off the lights so they can't see?
Yeah, you can do stuff like that, and then it'll be easier.
But it's during the day, so they can still see
Yeah.
it through the windows.
Yeah, see, I'm thinking everybody should strap in, and then we open the door, let them get sucked. You know.
You can do that. You can do things like turn off one engine and leave the others running, which would create.
Create
You'd have
a-
to get or
But you'd have
to
to
a
secure
dive.
yourself down, which would also require a movement.
Mhm.
Okay. So,
So it's basically like to take control of every instrument on the plane, 3
But-
reds.
okay.
To take control of.
Yes. Swing them
Something
left, swing them right.
specific.
Got it.
Yeah.
Guys, I got your back. I'm going to hack in and gain control of the engine system.
Just the engine system? Okay, then it's just going to be 2 purple.
Nice.
Do one or
So
the
is
other
it-
first.
What do you mean? Yeah.
Do one set first.
Yeah, I'm going to do this too. These two,
Hold on.
right? They're next to each other.
No. Don't worry about what's next to each other. You've got 2
Okay.
fails, but three success.
Okay.
So you're gonna net 1 success regardless.
Right.
So how much advantage and threat do you have?
Well, don't they just cancel each other out right here then?
Well, what you'd end up with is 1, 2,
3
3 advantage
advantage,
and 1
one-
threat. So
Yeah.
you end up with You end up with a success
Okay.
and
And
Two
to
advantage.
advantage. Okay.
yeah, you've
So
got all
this-
the weird dice going right now. So this is usually where it's best to count it,
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
then cancel it.
Okay. So to advantage,
2 advantage and 1
one
success.
success.
Awesome. So you successfully hack in and you're able to turn off one of the engines. With your 2 advantage, you can have control of one other mechanical function of the plane. What would you like to have control of?
I'm gonna slow down the vent system that's pumping.
Okay, kind of put
Just
like an emergency
kind of
stop
like an
on the
emergency
ventilation.
stop on the ventilation.
Perfect. So which
So
engine do
it's-
you shut off, left or right?
Right.
The right engine. Okay, cool. So you guys for sure begin kind of careening. The engine shuts off and you hear like that sound kind of lower to your right side, and you feel the plane lurch to the right side as the left begins to push.
Brace yourself.
Treat yourself.
Crusoe, you're on. Go.
And that pushes everybody who's not fastened in some way. So
Yeah.
you and Vladimir are good. I think
He was on the ground.
Eric, you're on the
Yeah.
ground, so you like hit a chair, but you're still kind of in the middle of the aisle. But Jacques, Richard, and the two goons all like hit that right side wall. Like they're not able to stay like just standing where they are, because they weren't braced on anything. And then it's going to be NPC turn. The first one is going to try to regain some semblance of balance for himself. Let me pull up his NPC card real quick. But he doesn't have any type of coordination, so he's going to have to to readjust himself to be able to stand up to be able to do this fight. Is going to be a hard check for him. So right now he's rolling 2 green and 3 purple. Does anybody want to flip a story point to make it harder for him to get up?
We don't have any story.
You have
points
2
left
story
on it.
points.
Yeah.
So is that a no?
I'd say.
Yeah, I don't see.
Okay, well he would like to use a story point. Triumph, I'm going to let him count this as a maneuver instead of an action. He didn't triumph, so you guys are good on
Maybe
that.
get some success.
And I've got like a mixture of, success. 1 success and 2 advantages. So he does successfully get up, and he is going to give 2 boosts to his buddy to do the same thing. Like he's going to basically reach out a hand to help him up from his vantage point. So same difficulty and everything, but he has 2 blue dice. Does anybody want to use a story point to make it more difficult for him?
No.
No?
No.
I think I'll use another one to make it easier on him. Still no triumphs for him. And he also did not succeed. Oh, yep, nope. 3 advantages left over. So he is going to use that to give... as he's trying to get up, he kind of falls back. His balance is not so great, and his gun goes off. And the last player turn is Jacques, and so his gun goes off, and it almost hits you in the shoulder. And it's going to give you an automatic upgrade on your negative dice.
Okay.
For this round.
All right.
So it's your turn. You're the last one to go.
I would like to pull out my ink pen and use it to stun the squirrel. Incapacitate him.
So not help us,
Roll luck.
just randomness.
Cares about the 2 guys with the guns.
No, there is logic behind this, but I
Is it
can't
Crusoe
say
logic?
it. Yes, it is.
Difficulty is 2 purple.
2 guys with guns, man.
All right, so see how these 2
Wait,
would cancel?
you got to upgrade one of those purple die to a red.
Then I gotta reroll.
You got to reroll.
Okay.
All right, so those 2 are gonna go away.
Yeah, because they cancel. Okay.
Thank you, Percy. Those 2 successes are gonna go away, which leaves me with 1 advantage. I would have passed the other way, but
Well, yeah. That's the point of me adding difficulty to your roll.
all right. Now with that, I would go ahead and like to use my natural on my luck roll.
What does the natural do?
My natural allows me to re-roll once per session 1 of 2 skills, which I chose luck and knowledge.
Okay, cool.
That's a little better. That one goes away. That one goes away. There's an inherent success there. I have
And
a
then
success.
2
I have a success, a triumph, and 2 advantage.
It's a much better roll.
Yeah.
With luck, I get to do things.
Mm-hmm.
It stuns him. So you're going to have a stunning pin. This will be on your weapons. It's probably a
And
good place to
You
put
mean
this.
it looks really fantastic?
Yeah, it's a stunning. The pin is stunning.
It's so beautiful.
Oh, I want
Diamond
that
encrusted.
pen.
In fact, I think
Use-
stunning pin is a little
We're saying pin or pen?
Pen.
Okay.
is a
It's a fountain pen.
little
Gotcha.
less than what it is. It's a pin disguised as an electric rod.
You mean
It's
an
a
electric
miniaturized cattle
rod.
prod.
It's a miniaturized cattle prod.
It's an electric rod disguised as a pen. You
Yeah,
mean.
that's what. Yeah, it's a pen disguised as an electric rod. Oh, look at my cutting prod! I will assign the documents. It does sound like a Clouseau.
I wonder how well. Yeah,
You know how you put the pen in your mouth when you're, you're thinking,
All right, so
triggering it. Now we understand why he's retarded.
So it's an electric rod. Damage is going to be 7.
Now he is Udell.
I was not actually going for that, but it just.
Damage 7. Crit is blank. You can't crit with it.
Okay.
Range is engaged. And special is stun damage. So it's only strain damage. And the skill to use it. What do you think? You think like a stealth? Like a sleight of hand kind of thing?
It seems like it'd be an agility thing.
Well, but agility's not a skill though.
Right.
So I'm looking for like what skill should I pair it with?
I would think brawl, like it's a knife type thing.
Okay, I'd be okay with that. The
All right,
brawl
I'll
skill.
go with brawl.
Or melee. I guess it would be melee, wouldn't it?
Well, I mean, if I have to reach out and touch, then
it's
I mean,
brawl.
you can
Yeah.
do either or. You can make a
True.
case for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so brawl is I'm comfortable with brawl. So if it's brawl, then because of the way that brawling weapons work, instead of the damage being 7, let's make the damage +3.
Or could it also be deception depending on how he's trying to use it?
I don't think so. I think the deception check would be like separate
Okay.
from the combat. That would be like an out of combat use of it, basically. But with your triumph, because you rolled luck, I get to do this. You unleash this thing, and you kind of have the dial turned up to 11 on it, and it sends like an EMP style shockwave through the plane, and shuts down everything.
That's lovely.
That's Clouseau.
Very Clouseau.
Yeah, it is. It is. That almost sounds like a despair.
It is. It almost is.
It almost is.
You know? But it could also be to our advantage, too. So now the planes start careening.
Yes. Now it's going to the right
Free fall.
and a little bit down.
So what happens to the dude? What happens to?
He
Dimitri.
is extremely unconscious.
All right. With that, do the vents stop pouring?
No.
Remember we discussed that it was mechanical.
No, I
no.
get where he's
No,
thinking.
I do. I know what he's doing. He thinks that Dimitri's other personality, and if he makes
You know
him
what?
If I
unconscious-
sever the connection between the
Gotcha.
conscious, then they can't
Yeah, I
talk.
got
I
it.
will. I think
That would be a
case-
very Clouseau kind of situation.
I think
that
a
plays
case can be made that the triumph also does that.
out. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, because
Okay.
if there's a connection there,
Cool.
how does
I
he
get it.
localize
That's not
it here?
that, and that's a good example of like you adding a fact to the story that I didn't have. That I'm totally okay with
Right.
there being.
So when you asked me earlier asked Clouseau earlier if he understood what was just said because he was listening, and he said no, it is very much a Clouseau kind of situation where not just by dumb luck, but his mind connects other dots, and that's where it was. If you're telling me that they can all communicate, well, if he's unconscious, how can he communicate?
Yeah.
So that to him is
Cut off that tie.
cut off the top.
So, but I think that the bigger story moment that proves is that these 25 are still connected to the hive, but they just have their calls on mute.
Makes sense.
Fair enough.
That's
Yeah.
dangerous.
Very dangerous, because that means that they now for
I like
sure
it. That was a good use of a triumph.
No, we're
where
after
y'all
'em.
are, and
Yeah.
they know you're after them, and they know everything that y'all know. So interesting. Excellent. So that's gonna be it for the round, and you see the two goons. They kind of shake their heads a little bit, like after you've shocked this one, and the pilot like is yelling back at you guys. Is everybody okay back there? What's going on? What's happening with our engines? Hey, can somebody help me? Are any of you skilled in turning things on?
I pull out a pocket
Oh,
knife.
yeah.
There must be a faulty wire. That would be
Okay.
And that's where we'll end the session.
Oh man, I had.
I'm skilled at turning things on.
Thanks so much.
Well, I can
for
turn
joining
things
us.
on.
I hope you enjoyed this particular episode.
Is your button?
I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. This was a lot of fun. Thanks so much for joining us, and until next time, keep on adventuring.
Good night.